Fly the L as the Cardinals leave Wrigley victorious after taking 2 out of 3 against the Cubbies. And it all came down to a spot on the team that was the weakest link last year, but delivered big time over the weekend.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Lou, and a lifetime Cardinals fan. And I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter, X at JD Sports Radio. You can follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. Want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. If you're going to come over to the YouTube channel, we would love to have you there so you can interact with us. Hit the notification button so you know when new episodes are posted. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans of baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. So if you are watching on YouTube, you can see I've got the ugly old man happy Cardinal shirt on today because that's what we wear when we win a series. And that's what happened this weekend in Chicago. The Cardinals had quite the productive week, really. I mean, you take, 2 out of 3 against the Pirates at Busch. You secure a winning homestand with that. Then you head to Wrigley, and you get 2 of 3 from the Cubs. And what was just an outstanding weekend of baseball in Chicago. Seriously, the atmosphere, the tightness of the games. I know things got a little bit bad on Saturday and the 5-1 loss, but the other 2 games, super tight, very anxious moments, a lot of anxious moments, I should say, to go along with the fact that it's, Cubs Cardinals, so great rivalry. Everybody is so close in the division. I mean, come on, even if you're not a huge baseball fan, you could pick up on how electric things were at Wrigley this weekend. And the best news of all, obviously, is the Cardinals end up taking 2 of 3 despite scoring only 5 runs all weekend. 5! That is crazy. To score only 5 runs and win 2 ball games, that's bonkers. But the Cubs, they only scored 6, with 5 of them coming in their win on Saturday. So we can be down on the offense if we want to, but I'm trying to stick with the theme of being positive here. So let's talk about how good this pitching staff was again this weekend. And it really comes to your starters on Friday and Sunday. Props to Andre Palante, who pitched pretty well on Saturday. I'm not going to bash him, but Kyle Gibson and Miles Mikolas, how good have these guys been? I mean, Kyle Gibson, what more can you say about this guy? And I know you're going to get mad at me here. I know you don't want to hear this, but an absolute home run of a signing by John Mozeliak. I know. Don't throw anything at me. We don't like to give John Mozeliak too much credit on this show because of all the mistakes that he's made. But come on, you got to admit, give him credit here because this was a hell of a signing. And remember, when it was announced that the team brought in Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, remember it happened on the same day. You could hear the groans all over St. Louis on that day. Hell, I was one of them. But my dismay was more about the Lance Lynn signing because I was like, I was really trying to stay away from him. More because of the type of pitcher that he is right now as opposed to the person he was, which is a big reason why they signed Lance Lynn. So, and I'm kind of eating crow right now because Lance Lynn has been pretty solid for the Cardinals. But I was excited about Gibson. Well, okay, excited. That's a strong word. Let's not say excited. I'll say I was more positive about the Kyle Gibson signing than a lot of people. I didn't love it by any means. So it was just like, I was like, okay, solid 4 or 5 guy. I get that. I was hoping they were going to aim higher in the offseason, but I also thought he was better than a lot of fans gave him credit for. 15-game winner with the Orioles. You know how many pitchers in Major League Baseball last year won 15 or more games besides Gibson? 7. And I know Baltimore's a really good team, but still, he's got to be out there. He's got to take the ball all the time. So 7 plus Gibson won 15 or more games last year. Pretty good. 33 starts, something that the Cardinals were really hoping that they would bring in here was more reliable arms, guys that are going to be able to answer the bell every 5th day. You know how many people had 33 starts or more last year besides Gibson? 8. And the Cardinals already had one of those guys in Miles Mikolas. Wasn't a sexy signing, but the Cardinals, they're not a sexy organization, are they? I saw that survey. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I saw that survey done by The Athletic where the Cardinals only got one vote by a group of MLB players that they surveyed. Asked them whether if they, where would they sign? What team, what city would they sign with if contracts, taxes, and rosters were not a non-factor? And it's your normal people at the top: Atlanta, Boston, LA, New York, Chicago. Those are the big cities. No surprise there. Those are sexy, big city places. The type of free agents that would want to come to St. Louis, they got to fit a specific mold, right? Normally they're going to be a veteran at this point in their careers, and they have to be somebody who respects the franchise, what they've been and what they've done over the years. Those are the types of guys that would be eyeing a place like St. Louis now and in the future. And Kyle Gibson fit that description perfectly. Plus, being from the Midwest area, that helped too. But now the Cardinals are reaping the benefits of that. Kyle Gibson has been really, really good. 5-2 on the season, 3.44 ERA, which is top 20 in the National League. Opponents are only hitting .226 against him, which is top 15 in the National League. He's got 8 quality starts, tied for 4th in the National League, 5th overall in Major League Baseball. Last 5 starts, 2-0, 2.20 ERA, 5th best ERA in the National League over the past month. Friday night, he shuts down the Cubs, allows 2 hits over 7 innings, walked 1, struck out 6, threw just 88 pitches. I mean, that's exactly what the Cardinals were looking for. He retired the final 15 batters that he faced, didn't allow a runner past second base. Yeah, give me more of that. He was outstanding. Defense was awesome behind him too, which also helped the cause. So, yay, Kyle Gibson, really, really good. And how about the starter on Sunday, Miles Mikolas? My man is on a heater as well. He was super sharp. Blanked the Cubs on just 3 hits over the first 6 innings. All those hits came in that 4th when the Cubs actually loaded the bases, but Mikolas wiggled out of it. He's been on a tear just like Gibson since getting knocked around by the Mets on May the 7th. Mikolas has made 7 starts. He's 3-1, but the team is 5-2 when he gets the ball. He's thrown 42 1/3 innings, which is right about 6 innings per start, which is what you're looking for. ERA at 2.76. Opponents hitting just 182 against him. And when you narrow things down even further, last 5 starts, ERA 2.59, 7th best ERA in the National League over that time. He has allowed just 1 home run, which we know is something that happens to Miles when that big inning comes around. It's usually a home run or 2 that does a lot of the damage, but only 1 home run over his last 5 starts. Opponents are hitting just 176 against him. That batting average, by the way, 176, that is tops in the National League over the last month. His whip, a minuscule 0.73, also tops in the National League over the last month. He now has 9 quality starts on the year, which is tied for the 3rd most in Major League Baseball. The Cardinals are getting elite pitching from these two, and it's a big reason why they are where they are in the standings. They're all alone in 2nd place in the NL Central now. I know that they're at that 500 mark, which is, can we get past it? 35-35. It's been a struggle to get back over that 500 mark, but they're at 500 heading into Monday's game against the Marlins, who are the proud owner and are now the proud owner of the 2nd wildcard spot in the National League. They passed the Padres this weekend, who slide down to number 3. And they get to go up against the Marlins now, who are a terrible baseball team this year. They've lost 5 in a row. So this is a huge opportunity for the Cardinals to not only get past the 500 mark, but to put a little more space in between them and everybody beneath them. Another big piece of the puzzle for the Cardinals, not only in this series, but throughout the whole year, has been closer Ryan Helsley, who went down in the record books after his save on Sunday. We'll talk more about that next on Locked On Cardinals. Summertime means baseball, the NBA Finals, and more, and you can bet it all on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 that you can use to bet on everything from the Finals MVP to who's going to hit one out of the park. Marlins, as I mentioned, not a great baseball team so far this year. Cardinals are riding high after taking 2 of 3 from Pittsburgh and Chicago this past week. Are you feeling the vibes of the Cardinals, even though the offense is a little quiet this weekend? You can bet on a ton of stuff. Same game parlays on who is going to hit a home run. Is Pies going to stay hot and knock another one out? What kind of home runs will they hit? Will they be solo shots, 2-run shots? Will they go 3-run shots? Grand slams. There's batter prop bets on who's going to do any of this stuff. Like we're talking singles, doubles. I mean, there's so much. Pitchers as well. Sonny Gray and strikeouts tonight. Different odds on whether he's going to get 4 or more, 5 or more, 6 or more, and so forth. Braxton Garrett for the Marlins. Very good left-handed pitcher. Same deal with him. You can bet on things that are happening in certain innings. Like there's so much to get to. It's wild, actually, how much you can bet on when it comes to FanDuel. So do what I do. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and add a big win to your summer bucket list. And hopefully you can bring home a winner, not only on the field with the Cardinals, but with FanDuel as well. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It is the most exciting and fun way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats for a shot to win up to 100 extra cash. With PrizePicks, you can turn $10 into 1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a PrizePicks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. It's very quick. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and then you're locked in. Now, if you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has got you covered every week, from lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays, which increases your chance of getting a win, to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. And there's no better way to cash in on the Cardinal baseball action than PrizePicks. Add your favorite players from the diamond, whether it's the Cardinals or any of the other teams throughout Major League Baseball, to your PrizePicks lineups. We're talking strikeouts, RBIs, home runs, stolen bases. You know the drill. Take your pick of more or less and add them to your PrizePicks lineup today. And you can now win up to 100 extra money with baseball-only lineups on PrizePicks. If you submit a winning lineup featuring 4 Demon Squares, you'll cash in big time on the biggest moments of baseball's early season. So download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with PrizePicks. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day and have to turn down the volume because of all the shouting? Then make the switch to Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel. It's programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. We've got can't miss analysis, opinions, news, again, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube. You want to make fun of the Cubs? Do it. You want to give us some info about what you think is going to happen against the Marlins? Do it. Leave them on Twitter, X, and, of course, in the YouTube comments as well. Your feedback is always welcome and encouraged. All right, Ryan Helsley on quite a run at the moment. Cardinals closer has been really, really good. And even though things tend to get a little bit stressful in the 9th inning, he has been able to overcome those issues and picks up the save. And he's done it now quite a few times in a row. He notched his league-leading 24th save on Sunday, and in the process joins the Cardinals record books. According to Lynn Worthy at STLtoday.com, he has now converted 24 consecutive save chances to tie the franchise record held by, anybody know? Anybody know? Alex Reyes. Alex Reyes is your answer. Reyes' run of 24 also set an MLB record for the most consecutive saves to start a career, although it did not take place entirely in one season. Now, the only blown save for Helsley so far this year, if you remember, he has blown one. That was back when they faced the Dodgers. Opening series in LA. Since then, he's nailed them all down. They haven't been perfect, but he's nailed them all down. You know, and he's always had, it just feels like consistent traffic on the base pass against him. Specifically recently, the clean innings is something that we haven't seen a lot of from Helsley in the last, 4 or 5 appearances. Really kind of going back to when they faced the Cubs at Busch. Since then, there's just been a lot of traffic around Helsley's saves. He gets the job done. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying it's been kind of stressful in his 4 appearances. The last 4 appearances, he's allowed at least a hitter walk someone in all 4 of those games. Although the one appearance against Pittsburgh on June 11th, that wasn't a save opportunity. That's when he allowed the 2 runs on 1 hit, and he walked 2. The walks are a real concern for me. He's walked 6 batters in his last 4 appearances, causing this added stress to his innings, and he's doing it himself. It's not like they're hitting the ball hard off of him or anything. He's doing it to himself, where he's just not throwing strikes. I mean, you can only play with fire so many times before you get burned. And Helsley flirted with danger both Friday and Sunday, walking 2 batters in each appearance, but he's able to wiggle out of it and was able to get the job done. So high five, Ryan Helsley. The last 15 appearances for him, which has been 15 innings, because that's what he does. He's a one-inning guy. He's allowed 12 hits and 10 walks. That's a whip of 1.47, folks. That is not what you want out of your closer. But again, he gets the job done. Here's what Helsley actually said about it in Worthy's write-up that he did. I believe he released this morning. Anyway, it gives you that little bit of confidence, like no matter what the situation is, I know I can get out of it. I still have a chance if the ball is in my hand. I'm going to look at some film of the last few days and see if I can find anything that I can get better at, see why I'm doing it, or maybe it's just fatigue. Now, the fatigue factor, and fans have been bringing this up a lot online, certainly could be a thing. It certainly could be a thing. I mean, he's already appeared in, what's he got, 32 games this year, tied for the 6th most in the National League. The Trinity itself of him and JoJo and Kittredge, they've been out there a lot. You know, Helsley's got 32 appearances. So does Jojo Romero. And Andrew Kittredge leads the club, and he's got 33. And those appearances, you know, they add up. They add up over time, but that's how his squad is built. That's why you've been seeing a little bit more of Ryan Fernandez, I think, recently. John King has been good. I mean, they're getting the job done, but it's also probably they're like, all right, let's try to scale it back maybe a little bit, because you don't want these guys completely burned out by the time you get to August and September and you're headed down that stretch. So another significant change for Helsley this year is the fact that he is a 1-inning reliever. That was something that they switched up. Usually it's the 9th inning, not always, but usually it's the 9th inning, which has probably helped his mindset this year, you know, knowing that that's when he's going to get the ball no matter what. Ollie spoke about this to Lynn Worthy as well, saying he's been really, really good all year. He's taken the ball. That's the most meaningful part. You look at last year, you look at this year. He's made a real commitment. We have together to say, you have the last 3. And because of that, he's been able to answer the bell every time we've asked him to. He's done a really nice job of staying ready and executing. That's not easy. What he's done up to this point, we're not anywhere close to where we're at right now without him doing right what he's doing. So basically what he said, he's like, they wouldn't be where they are if Helsley wasn't the guy at the end of the anchor there, at the end of the bullpen and at the end of games. Where the team is now is in Miami. They're going to face a Marlins team, as I mentioned, lost 5 in a row. They've lost 8 of their last 10. They're terrible. They're a terrible baseball team. It's an opportunity, again, for the Cardinals to take advantage of one of the worst teams in baseball. Now, we've had some problems with this, with the White Sox, with the Rockies, chances to do some damage and gain some momentum and gain some games in the standings against these guys. And they failed to do it against the White Sox and the Rockies. Hopefully that will change over the next 3 days in Florida. You got your ace on the mound tonight, Sonny Gray, going up against Braxton Garrett, who I mentioned, a very good left-handed pitcher. I'm sorry. Should be a solid pitching matchup tonight. I'm not expecting a ton of offense from either side, but again, it's a time that the Cardinals are going to have a chance to put some distance between them and the people below them. And they really need to. It'd be great to get a sweep, but you got to take 2 of 3 in Miami. There's no excuses to be losing to the Miami Marlins. We've got some injury updates, some good news on a couple of big pieces for this franchise. So we'll talk about those next here on Locked On Cardinals. Order supplies from the website that's made for the skilled trades. Find thousands of parts from hundreds of brands in just a couple of clicks at SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com gives you 24/7 access to a huge selection of plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with fast delivery anywhere in the United States. And if you need help with an order, you get industry-leading after-sales service from their friendly and knowledgeable customer support team, and talk to a real person every time, which is really, really nice. And there's great news for plumbers, technicians, and contractors. Being a pro has its perks. Trade industry professionals can join their free Trade Master program for free shipping and serious discounts on every order. Over 100,000 pros already trust the Trade Master program to deliver results. Apply for your membership today and get a competitive edge on every order at supplyhouse.com/TM. Save money and time when you order online. Order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV on the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. You can find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. All right, so the Cardinals have not been all that healthy so far this season. They've had to endure a lot of injuries, specifically in the outfield. You've got your catcher, you've had your starting pitcher, Steven Matz, go down, and we've got some updates on a few of these guys. So let's start with Steven Matz. Made a minor league rehab start for Double-A Springfield and pitched 3 perfect innings and struck out 5. I'd like to hear that. Through 35 pitches, 24 of those were strikes. The start marked his 3rd rehab outing since June the 6th. Now, Ali has said that they would like to get him up to 75 and 80 pitches before he returns to the big league. So it's not like Matz is like on the verge of coming back to the team just yet, but he's making his way. And if you get good Steven Matz, what a boost that would be as your 5th guy in the rotation. Not that Andre Palante hasn't done a good job, but you're going to side with Steven Matz if he's ready to go. Starting catcher Willson Contreras, who suffered a fractured forearm on May 7th, is slated to begin a minor league rehab assignment on Tuesday with either AAA Memphis or AA Springfield. I haven't seen an update yet of which one he's going to. How long is he going to be on this rehab assignment? That's anyone's guess, but Willie said this about it. Excuse me. I've been on a rehab assignment before, and I've never played more than 3 or 4 games, and it will be just a matter of timing. It doesn't matter if it's in the minor leagues or in the big leagues. It will be just about working to get my timing back, and I think it will come back quickly. Now, I don't think I need to tell you how significant his bat returning to this lineup would be for the Cardinals. The question now is, like, when you start thinking ahead of things, do you carry 3 catchers again like you did last year for a little bit because of how well Herrera and Pages have been as your backstop and as hitters in the lineup? You know, they've been very significant to what the Cardinals have been able to do since Willson Contreras went down. I mean, look how much winning has happened. Pages is clearly the best defensive catcher that they got, and they trust him. The pitching staff likes him. He was outstanding in Chicago this past weekend. Obviously, he showed off a little bit of the pop that he possesses. 2 dingers at Wrigley, which were huge home runs, game-winning home runs for the team. Herrera, you would argue, is better offensively. He's been hitting .278 over the last month, but has struggled with throwing runners out. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do and what they go with there. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Outfielder Tommy Edman is set to shift his rehab from offseason wrist surgery to the club's spring training facility in Jupiter this week. He'll get in work with the club's complex league squad and with Single-A Palm Beach. Ollie said that it will allow Edman to get in more at-bats during live batting practice sessions and more defensive reps with the team. So, again, this feels very much like a post-All-Star break type of return for Tommy Edman. No need to rush it right now, but it'll be nice to have him back in the lineup, switch hitter, doing what he does. So a huge part of this Cardinals offense, which, again, they could use it. They could use it. Getting him and Willie back will be huge. Getting Lars Nootbaar back at some point would be huge. Maybe even Jordan Walker. That would be nice. Right-handed reliever Riley O'Brien has been slated to pitch for Springfield on Saturday, but his outing was pushed back in order to give him more recovery time. He's now slated to pitch on Tuesday. And shortstop Brandon Crawford, who left Sunday's win over the Cubs midway through the 8th inning, had a cramp in his left hamstring. It wasn't anything significant, but he was removed from the game. It was precautionary. Should be available for the team on Monday when they open up this 3-game series against the Marlins in Miami. So that is the latest. Marlins, Cardinals, Sonny Gray on the hill tonight. Let's get it done, right? Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give me a follow on Twitter, X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. Like, subscribe on YouTube. We're almost to 10,000 subscribers. We're getting there slowly but surely. So if you do watch on YouTube and you like what you've been hearing, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. It helps this channel grow immensely. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. And I will see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.